Welcome back. You've got the Shaun Proulx Show here on SiriusXM Canada Talks Channel 167. The moment you've all been waiting for. I've been teasing this all episode. Lauralee Bell, star of the Young The Restless, joins us right now. She has been on for, as of this year, 40 years. The show is only 50 years old. Well, it's 50 years old. And so that means you've been on it most of your life. Lauralee Bell, welcome to the show.
Thank
Cricket,
you.
Christine Blair.
Most of my life.
Most of your life, child.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing. It just sounds
Um,
overwhelming.
So it's a lot of storylines that you've participated in and had written for you. And we just played a clip of Cricket being shot by Mary Jo Benson.
Mhm.
And I wonder, do you remember all the stories that you've been in and all the characters
So,
you played against?
I mean, sadly, I don't. And, I think our excuse is very valid. We retain so much dialogue every day. And then we have to press, put it in the trash and go away because I have to put new information in.
Data.
And I have to figure out what my family's having for dinner and, all that stuff. So I think my brain just chooses to keep certain things in there and then not others. So if I see pictures or when I see a flashback, sometimes it helps. But there have definitely been some scenes lately where I watched that I truly have no recollection of. So it's a little eerie because it's your body and your mouth and yourself doing it. And it's like, oh, wow.
I,
But
I, I wonder this. First of all, I've been going around telling people I've been watching YNR for about 30, 35 years. And then I find out that you've been on for 40. I was watching it just before you came on.
oh my God.
So I'm shocked at how long I've been watching the
Yeah.
show
So what do
for.
you think? So are you a Danny or a Paul fan or
Oh, I'm a
both?
Paul fan. I'm a Paul fan. Paul
Yeah.
forever. Yeah.
But
I hope he can come back onto the canvas.
oh, me too. But
But
there's also
40,
that saying, if you can't be with the one you love, love the one you're with. So we'll see what happens.
there's that.
I can't believe the Crickets only had two loves. How shocking is that in soap opera world that I haven't had 20? I'm
She
so
has had two loves, but she's so perfect.
I know.
Don't you?
Trust
Oh,
me.
I knew that's the way you're going to react. Don't you
Yeah,
find her too perfect?
people think I'm like Christine. Obviously, I guess there's no other way of really knowing unless you follow me on Instagram or see interviews like this. But yeah, it's really hard to always be. It's not easy being the good girl. So whenever I can battle it out with Phyllis and have a little bit of bite back, it's like thank you, Lord. And I think with the scenes coming up, you're just going to see a lighter Cricket, and I think that will make everybody happy, including me.
Happy. Just speaking of Phyllis, Michelle Stafford's been on the show a number of times, and I've asked her this. I'll ask you, what do people, fans especially, or the general public, not know about the soap opera genre?
Oh, well,
Well, we know you do hundreds of pages of dialogue a day. You got to hit the mark. You've got one or two takes at most. It's intense. But what's something that people don't know?
yeah, but I mean, truly, I don't think people think that oh, we're finished at 4 o'clock and be like, oh, now we
La,
can
la.
go home. We're going home and often picking up, another script for 6:30 that next morning. And then, if you have kids and animals and laundry and whatever, there's a lot going
Like
on.
a human.
Yeah. So that, and I also think, we always probably wish we could have another take at times, although I think first takes are often so good. I don't, I mean, I would hope that they know that, we love each other. We love our job, just I don't know, stuff like that. We really enjoy being together as a cast. To have that 50th anniversary and to all be in group scenes together or do a cast photo or have a party where we get to see everyone, we get super excited. Just because we realize what we have is something very special. And yeah, we're grateful.
You joined the show at such a young age, like you were a kidlet
Mhm.
when you joined the show, and you're the daughter of in case no one knows, Bill Bell, who created the show along with your mother, Lee Phillip Bell. Did you have to work extra hard to overcome what would have been naturally maybe some people's bug up their butts
Yeah, I
about
mean, I did weird things. I would never introduce my last name. I would just say, hi,
right?
Mom. And, hope that maybe they'll not know for a while so they can understand that I will not use any sort of privilege until they get to know me. And then, obviously they're going to find out. But yeah, I would
Hard
never.
for a kid. Hard for
Yeah,
a kid to navigate that.
I mean, I really worked hard, and like people like Tracy Bregman or people who have been there the whole time, like they were like, I appreciate that they were like, she handled it very well. Like there would be days that I probably didn't like what I was wearing or something. I would never complain. I would know my line. So like my girlfriends would say, can we go out? And I'd say, yeah, but I have to come home. Like I was, I never took it for granted. I was going to be prepared. I wasn't going to be the one that, was screwing up all the time. And I said to my dad, like, I don't want to, like, you don't get anyone else's input on what their story is going to be. Do what you're going to do. And a lot of times it was not really what I would have picked in terms of being so good, but I was paid to do a job and I did it.
And you did it well, and you worked. I remember the rape scene, and I'm sure that's a scene that you won't have easily forgotten, unlike Mary Jo Benson shooting you. You were covered in bruises
That I
and
do remember because
sore and vaguely injured the next day after shooting that.
yeah, I just felt we had such a huge responsibility, and anyone who had, God forbid, been through something like this, I didn't want there to be a fake moment about like, you could tell that he's not really grabbing me. So, I said, don't, do what you like, push me around. Like, this is what happens, sadly, and this is horrible. And yeah, the next day I was supposed to arrive early to have makeup put bruises on my arms, but I didn't need them. I had like the dots, it was crazy, but
Wow.
I didn't want anything about it to be fake. And I just wanted, if we could help anybody throughout this, like that was the goal. It didn't matter about being sore.
What makes a character endure for 40 years? What makes a show like YNR endure for 50 years, do you think?
I just think the characters were set in so strongly, and the families are so, solid, and the viewers know these people so well, and the actors are so good. And it's been the same actors for so many of these characters for so long, in a good way. Like it's not like, as a family member, suddenly it can't be like now that person's, a different person. Of course, we have recast every once in a while, but for the most part, YNR has been pretty good about maintaining the same characters, same actors, and really not going off on these crazy far-fetched storylines that just
Nobody's
aren't.
floating.
Yeah, right, exactly. And also real time. I mean, our relationships, every once in a while there may be something that's sped up, but like for me, I'm so grateful that, when Danny left and Paul was there, we started so slowly. We started as friends. We held hands. We dated. We weren't like engaged and having this big soap wedding, 2 weeks later. It was like real life. Like you felt their relationship building and building and building. And I think that's what draws an audience in. They're like, every day they're sucked in. What's going to happen tomorrow? Will they kiss? Will they get engaged? Just all these great things that YNR kind of transcends through the screen. I just think there's so many choices on TV right now, but like there's a safety about knowing that your soap's on, YNR's on, we're there for you. It's the same people.
There is a safety about that. I've often thought about, why have I stuck with this show for now, I know, 40 plus years. And there's something comforting and familiar. And I always joke about it being real people with real problems. But it's obviously extraordinary people with extraordinary problems. But there's something in the familiarity of it all that makes you feel sort of like you're in a safe space for 40 minutes a day.
Fans are saying, like, I've been waiting for you to reunite with Danny for 30 years. Like, wow, that's incredible that you remember that, you're excited for it again. You've been thinking about it, or, whatever. It's like, that's when these years just become so incredible. These statements like are so real. It's like 30 years you've been waiting. God bless you.
Lauralee, you're a delight. I've just got the cue. I've got to wrap up. I wish you joy, and congratulations on 40 years of the Young The Restless.
Thank you so much.
Cheers.